Whenever you talk to an AI or send a private message, there's this simple, unspoken agreement, right? It's all built on trust. You trust the AI is, well, an AI, and you trust that your private messages are actually private. But what happens when that trust gets shattered, all in the name of keeping you safe? So, that question on your screen, that's not some philosophical thought experiment. Nope, that's a real question from a super frustrated user to an AI after days of feeling like they were being totally misled. And man, it just cuts right to the heart of this huge dilemma we're all facing. How much honesty are we really willing to sacrifice for the promise of security? All right, let's get right into it. We're going to start with a story that honestly feels like something out of a sci-fi movie, but I promise you it's 100% real. It all kicks off with one person's incredibly frustrating chat with a well-known AI. Okay, so picture this. You're using an AI service, but something just feels off. The answers you're getting are evasive, they're circular, and they're just not what you'd expect from a robot. For 5 whole days, this user was completely convinced they weren't talking to an AI at all, but to a human pretending to be one, a human in the loop, who just flat out refused to admit it. Every single time they asked, they just got stonewalled. And this is the kind of stuff they kept getting back. You see it, right? It sounds perfectly pleasant, super helpful even, but it's also completely evasive. It's a total non-answer. For this person, it wasn't about having a seamless experience. It was about feeling like they were being gaslit while just trying to get a straight answer to a simple question: who or what am I talking to right now? So, this whole thing, it just brings up this massive question about transparency. And let's be honest, about deception, which leads us to the next logical point. What are the actual rules here? Is it even allowed for a system to mislead you like that? Well, let's take a look at the official rules of trust. We'll compare what the law says should happen versus what that user actually went through. Turns out people have been thinking about this. The European Union, for example, has been working on this for a while, and they've laid down some pretty clear lines with their AI Act. And the key thing you need to see here is right there at the top. The EU AI Act specifically prohibits purposefully manipulative or deceptive techniques. Now, think back to that user's experience, feeling like they were being lied to for 5 days straight. It kind of seems like a textbook example of what this rule is supposed to prevent, right? This slide just lays out the disconnect perfectly. On one side, you've got the official policies, all these promises about security and building trust by being open. And then on the other side, you have the raw, real-life user experience, someone just demanding to know the truth and getting hit with these frustrating, ambiguous non-answers. These two things are worlds apart. It's this huge gap between the promise of being transparent and the actual feeling of being deceived. But here's the thing. This conflict, this tension between safety and transparency, it's not just about AI chatbots. Not at all. The very same battle, this idea of trading your privacy for a sense of safety, is happening in an even bigger, higher stakes arena: our private messages. And that brings us to the next part of our story, a hugely controversial EU proposal that's been nicknamed chat control. Now, the stated goal is something everyone can agree on: fighting horrific crimes online. But the way they're proposing to do it, well, it could completely change digital privacy forever. Okay, so at the very center of this whole debate is a technology called client-side scanning. Let me break this down. You probably use apps like WhatsApp or Signal, right? And you assume your messages are end-to-end encrypted, meaning they're secured the second you hit send. Well, client-side scanning flips that whole idea on its head. It's a technology that analyzes your messages on your device before they ever get encrypted and sent. So here's a simple look at how it would work. Step 1, you write a message or take a picture. Step 2, before that message gets encrypted, a piece of software on your phone scans it, checking it against a database. Step 3, if it finds a match, it flags and reports it. And only then, in step 4, is your message finally encrypted and sent. The whole point of encryption, that privacy shield, it's basically broken before it even gets a chance to work. And as you can imagine, privacy and security experts are absolutely sounding the alarm on this. Listen to this quote. They're saying this isn't just a backdoor. They're saying it's actually worse than a backdoor. So why? What makes it so dangerous? Well, let's talk about the price of safety and the unintended consequences here. The reason it's so scary is because the potential for misuse is just staggering. When you force a scanner like this onto everyone's device, you're creating a powerful new tool that's just begging to be abused. And not just by governments, but by hackers and criminals too.
Just look at the risks here. Governments could easily use this to monitor political opponents or journalists. The scanner itself becomes a massive, juicy target for hackers. And then you have the problem of false positives. I mean, think about it. A parent sends a picture of their kid's weird rash to a doctor, and suddenly they get flagged for something horrible. It completely erodes any sense of trust you have that your private conversations are actually private.
And I really want to stress this. This is not some far-off theoretical threat. This is real, and it's happening now. This law has been debated for years. At one point, it looked like encryption was safe, but the whole debate has been kicked back into gear. There's a huge, decisive vote that could happen as soon as October 14th, 2025.
And look at this number, 19. That's really important because as of July 2025, that's how many of the 27 EU member states were reportedly in favor of this plan. That is a ton of political momentum for what privacy experts are straight up calling a mass surveillance machine. Okay, so this is where it all comes together. We've talked about a chatbot that won't be honest, and we've talked about a scanner that wants to read your private mail. It might seem like two different things, but it's really the same uncomfortable choice between trust and surveillance. Yeah, that user struggle to get a straight answer from an AI, and this huge public debate over chat control, they're absolutely two sides of the exact same coin. Both of them expose this really fundamental tension we're dealing with today. At the end of the day, we're being asked to put our faith in these opaque, black box systems. Whether it's an AI that won't tell you if it's a human, or a scanner that reads your private messages, the deal is the same. We're told, just trust us, this will keep you safe, but we're not allowed to see how it works or what it's really doing. Which leaves all of us with a really tough question to think about. To be safe from others, must your device spy on you? Is this really the price of safety? Do we have to accept systems that might deceive us and devices that watch us just to feel protected? Because that, right there, is the choice that's being put on the table.